After 3 long years, XRP has won its court case against the SEC and today was declared not a security, giving Gary Gensler a smackdown. Now, nobody is talking about this, but there was actually an exception to where XRP was a security, and we will dive into the nuances of the decision today. And at this point, I am giga bullish. I am raising price targets across the board for Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, everything. But what I really want to talk about is setting ourselves up for the next few weeks and months to capture this momentum so that way we can get the most gains and different narratives and altcoins that you should be looking into. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I am Crypto with Nick and I focus on finding the hottest altcoin gems and best DeFi deal strategy and sharing my research with all of you. Be sure to check the timestamps below. Feel free to jump around. We're going to be talking about XRP lawsuit. Some of these narratives I've outlined here today on my Twitter. Drop me a follow. And I was checking out my YouTube analytics. Only 15% of you subscribe. So be sure, hit that like button and subscribe as we gear up for the next bull run. Let's get into today's video. So we got the news today around 8:27 a.m. Pacific time. And it says here that Ripple wins the verdict that XRP is not a security. But this is the caveat which we'll talk about, that the judge also ruled that the institutional sales of XRP by Ripple were securities. So what this is saying is that there's two types of buyer. The first type of buyer is retail, people like you and I who might have purchased XRP off an exchange like Coinbase. And our purchases through an exchange were not deemed a security sale. That is okay, which gave the green light for exchanges to relist XRP today, which we'll talk about. But the other type was the institutional sales, and that was the security. And this breaks it down really well. If we check out this bottom section here, the vast majority of individuals, retail users, who purchase XRP from exchanges did not invest their money in Ripple. And on the other side of that coin, you can see here, institutional buyers reasonably expected that Ripple would use those proceeds or its capital from its sales to improve the ecosystem, right? Therefore, expecting an increase in the price. And so the fight is not over completely, right? There is more to come on this institutional part. However, it is clear that sales from an exchange is not a security, which of course sent the entire crypto market on a rally today. It's no surprise that XRP put in a massive candle today, pumping up as much as 100%. I think adding a total of around 40 billion to its market cap, of course, retracing a little bit and is holding strong now around 78 cents. Of course, I had to get in on this action. I was a bit late to the news. I was doing some things for work, but you can see here, I live tweeted it. Hey, I'm longing XRP, logged into my Mexi account, cranked up the leverage to 5x and secured a nice 112% win today. But I don't think this pump is over, and so I will hopefully look for a re-entry. We'll see what happens. And the moral of the story, as Adam Cochran puts it perfectly, is don't do institutional rounds, right? Sell via exchanges. We got the green light for that. Distribute via protocol natively. And don't forget to tell Gary Gensler how you're feeling as you walk by. And the reason why I think XRP has more to pump here is that back in 2020, it was delisted from every single exchange possible. You can see here, crypto.com, Coinbase, Bitstamp, OKCoin, Bitwise, right? Just about everything had took it off its platform. But today was a huge win because Coinbase immediately the same day re-enabled trading for XRP and you can go buy it right now. If you're new here, you might actually be surprised to learn I'm actually not that bullish the XRP project, but it does set an incredible precedent for the industry. And of course, I will rejoice today with the XRP maxis because they stuck it in there for a very long time and they deserve their day of celebration. Now, what's going to be really interesting is that the SEC recently sued Coinbase and had named quite a few tokens that could be possible securities. And if you look at them, there's some big ones here: Solana, Cardano, Polygon, Matic, Filecoin, Sandbox, Axie Infinity, ICP, Near, right? There's a huge list. And you might remember that Robinhood had also delisted this token in fear of the SEC crackdown, particularly Cardano and Sol. So where does this leave us now? Well, I created this 6-step simple plans to making gains over the next few weeks and months as we gear up to capture this momentum. And we've talked a little bit about number one today, which is simply just XRP speculation. I think there's so much pent up energy there. I think it's taking a breather today and I expect it to send higher. For number two here, I mentioned Solana and Matic. These were previously under scrutiny for being a security, but with XRP setting a precedent, things look good. And this is true. XRP now is going to set an incredible precedent for all cryptocurrencies. And this, I believe, is going to give a nice catalyst, especially to these two that have probably suffered the most in the lawsuits and the delistings from Robinhood and things like that. Now, Solana also got beaten down really because it was Sam's coin, right? Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX was a huge bull poster from Solana. And while a lot of metrics still don't look too great, I think this is exactly the time you want to start paying attention to things. It looks like right now the TVL is only $320 million and at the peak had reached almost $10 billion. So again, significantly down. But remember, Solana also has a very thriving NFT ecosystem. And something that's really interesting is just how well it's still flourishing. You can see here in the last 30 days alone, they've done almost $72 million in NFT sales, and that is a huge amount of volume. And now a lot of people, including myself, used to throw a lot of shade at Solana because it was the blockchain that always broke. But the Solana team has put a lot of work in. They fixed all the bugs. And now when you look at something like this, which shows the health or the status of the blockchain over something like the last 90 days, right? It's green bars all across the board. And I think a lot of people right now, they're seeing this pump on Solana, right? It hit around $9 and it's sitting around, what's it called here? $28. So about a 200% gain. And people are like, oh, I missed the pump, right? I can't buy it now. I have to wait. But let me show you something. Let's modify this chart a little bit. Let's change some variables here. Okay, do you see the pump now? I don't even see the pump. The pump is so small, right? If Solana has any opportunity to return to even remotely near the all-time highs, you are looking at a massive upside here. And the same story goes for Polygon. It's probably beaten down a little too much, which means it's primed for opportunity. And here we also saw today, Polygon Labs make an announcement, a new technical proposal for Polygon 2.0, where you can see here they have this staking layer securing everything, the Polygon subnets, the ZK EVM, as well as the Polygon ZK Validium. And Polygon is the same story. It's sitting around $1 billion in TVL right now, and you can see significantly down, and at the peak had almost 8 billion, right? So massively down, but again, Polygon thrives on something differently, which is it's actually real world brand partnerships. And you can see here in the past, they've secured partnerships, everything with DraftKings, Stripe, Reddit, Walt Disney, Adidas, and so many more. And it's the same story. I mean, it's of course up massively from the bottom. I think it's probably up about 60% give or take, right? What are we looking at? Yep, 60%. But look at the potential upside, right? So you're betting on, will Polygon go ahead and return to possible all-time highs, anywhere between 1 to 200% gains here, right? It has great tokenomics. Most of it is already circulating, which is always cool to see. I think it's worth betting on. And number 3 on the list, we're talking about layer 2, specifically Optimism and Arbitrum, as we look forward to the Ethereum Cancun upgrade. And I just learned while making this video, they've changed the name from Cancun because they're combining both of these protocol upgrades, and now they're calling it the Dencun update, I suppose. But basically the idea is it introduces proto-danksharding. But what is that? Proto-danksharding, to make it simple, introduces the idea of giving more data to be available for layer 2s. And so what you're really looking at here from a layer 2 perspective is that they're going to be 10 to 100x cheaper in fees. If you want to understand this, I came up with this comparison basically using Snapshot. So when you send photos or files to your friends, right, it takes up space on their computer, and we are always trying to find more space on our iPhones and computers and everything. But what if you just kind of read the data and then it disappeared, right? You don't need to store it. And that's essentially what they're introducing with this concept. So now we know that layer 2s are going to benefit Optimism and Arbitrum directly. Which one should you bet on? Is there maybe a preferred choice here? And I think it might be Optimism, and I'll tell you why. So to start with, you might remember our good friends at Coinbase, they decided to create a new Ethereum layer 2 called Base Chain built on top of Optimism stack. And they pretty much were able to partner with every major blue chip DeFi project out there, including things like Layer 0, Aave, Balancer, and so many more. And the good news is it went live today. You can actually go ahead and bridge over to the Coinbase layer 2, which is obviously going to help bring some value accrue to the Optimism. You can see it right here. Base is a layer 2 built on the OP stack in collaboration with Optimism. And there's actually somebody else building on top of the Optimism stack, and that's actually Binance, who's going to release a layer 2 testnet also on the OP stack because they're looking to get faster transaction times and cheaper fees. And the last thing that some people are really excited for is WorldCoin, who has committed to launch on Optimism, who is planning to build the largest public utility out there for financial and identity needs. And of course, with any project, we should check out the tokenomics and the vesting schedule, inflation. You can see here right here in July, right as we approach the end of 2024 and into 2025, it actually does look pretty crazy here, but not too concerned quite yet. I'm focusing on the next few months and it's looking good right now. And with all these things happening to Optimism, you might be wondering, well, where does this put Arbitrum? And I would say Arbitrum doesn't have as many catalysts, but it's in a very rock solid place, being the number 4 chain right now in TVL, crossing over $2 billion. The thing that Arbitrum has going for it and Optimism has struggled a bit is really attracting developers to build in its ecosystem, so that way it can have a flourishing DeFi ecosystem. And Arbitrum still remains dominant here as new projects do prefer Arbitrum as their chain to launch. Of course, most notably, we have GMX at the top still, and everything like Radiant, Camelot, Pendle, Convex, Mux, right? The list goes on. G&D, special shout out there. But there's so many great projects building on Arbitrum. And of course, we should take a look at the tokenomics. Things are looking pretty good, right? We're here in 2024, July. We have people have been airdropped the DAO treasuries. These are projects on Arbitrum that got the free airdrop. They're doing many different things with it. Some people sold it right away. Some people are investing it to do liquidity incentives, investing it in their runway, right? Different things. But you can see here also this kind of pink and red line, whatever, the investors and advisor doesn't start for almost a whole nother year. So tokenomics look pretty good, and a very flourishing ecosystem makes it also a great bet. I think now we can move on to number 4, which is Rollbit and DMT. So one of the most interesting projects I think in that entire list and has the potential to do the highest multiples is probably Rollbit, which is really this idea of a decentralized casino. And it's also kind of secretly a perp platform that not a lot of people know about, but is doing insane amount of volume. So Rollbit does $1 to $4 billion in daily volume. Absolutely insane. It puts it among the top exchanges. They also have an insane feature for 1000x leverage futures trading. And Lucky, who is the co-founder of Rollbit, has said that their 30-day future volumes is $72 billion. This is up there again with Bybit, a massive, well-respected exchange. And Rollbit is partnering with some of the largest and most respected influencers in crypto, specifically Hasaka, as well as a few others. And these are not your standard pump and dump or shill accounts. Hasaka is up there among the greatest traders that crypto has ever seen. And if you had to guess where Hasaka tweeted out his relationship with Rollbit, where would you guess? Well, if you guessed here the first Giga Candle pump, you were right, and ever since has climbed a massive 200%, sitting around a 272 million market cap. Honestly, I am betting on this one to be a minimum $1 billion market cap, if not more conservatively. I think there's a lot of potential here in the decentralized casino narrative. And you can see here they pretty much every crypto listed, imagined, right? Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, Cardano, sold, the list goes on. And you can see here they're doing insane amounts of volume. And it makes perfect sense, right? Not everybody has the ability to take time off work, get the friends together, go to Vegas. And so decentralized casinos on the blockchain in crypto, it actually makes perfect sense. And I honestly could see this being a massive opportunity. So Sanko GameCorp is really interesting, actually. It's this weird retro arcade gaming platform. It's a weird story because it deployed on Arbitrum and almost immediately, to be honest, was exploited and essentially sent the price close to zero, and people thought it was over. But the team was able to fix things and really just turn things around. And you can kind of see here this massive rise from the bottom of here around $6 to where it is now at almost $40, sitting around a 24 million market cap. One of the games people really love playing on this platform is actually poker. It's giving an opportunity for people to create this decentralized casino, and people are waging anywhere between 6 to 7 figures daily, and it's racking up a ton of volume. If we take a look at the tokenomics, they don't look great, but they don't look bad either, right? 30% to the public sale, that's pretty cool. 25% for staking rewards, 20% to the team, right? Sanko Labs, also a development fund. So I just consider this about 30% to the team. And they also have this airdrop NFT, this kind of like Sanko Milady derivative collection, which is pretty cool. And of course, some of these other actions. You know, it's got a weird vibe, but people love playing these games. And what's more importantly is they're actually spending a lot of money. So it's driving a lot of volume. Here we have a couple different games. So definitely something interesting to check out. We are coming up here on the last choice, which is Unibot, and we're going to talk about how Telegram trading bots might be changing the game and onboarding the next wave of DeFi users. And of course, we have to talk about the massive rise of Unibot. It was called in my Discord by Dizzy, one of our mods, at just $1. You would be looking at over 50x, right? Another reason to join a completely free community Discord. Come hang out with a bunch of Giga Chads. So Unibot is this idea of a Telegram trading bot, and it works seamlessly. All you do is hit start, it creates wallets for you and immediately allows you to start trading with all the different features. And the reason why I think this is just so important is that it removes all the friction and nuances of understanding all these different components. It really simplifies things. And anytime that we can simplify things in crypto is obviously going to help onboard a new set of user base. And they have introduced a ton of different features, everything from limit orders, which right now, if you try to go to Uniswap V3 and do a limit order, while you can technically do it, it requires some knowledge. It's actually not clear at all on how you would even accomplish that. You can mirror sniper, meaning you can find whale wallets or other wallets you like and mirror them. So that way, if they buy a coin, you're also buying the same coin. And they can also have private transactions and a few other things. And they've also recently have even introduced just sniping tokens, meaning if you give it the contract address, it will wait for the token launch and try to get it right away. And with all these things happening, you can see here they actually share of all the revenue they make, because I believe it's 5% per transaction. Holders receive 40% of all transaction fees and 1% of all volume. So even if you're just a holder of the token, you're now going to earn that passive income and real yield, which is pretty cool. The number one thing I care about when it comes to a new project, great that you're making revenue. I love that for you. But I want to know, do people like using your product and are they coming back to use it? And so if we check out this chart here, you can see we have kind of consistent new users coming in, as well as an uptrend of returning users. And this is what we need to see, that people are getting exposure to the product and that they like it so much that they're actually coming back to continue to use it. I don't want to make this video too long, but there's a couple other bonus alts that I'm looking at here that I already hold or on my watch list. I hold ICE, Popsicle Finance. I think I deserve to do a deep dive on that. Don't fade Popsicle Finance. Daniel Seste is back. He has the Pumpamentals. I'm pretty bullish on his new project called WagMe. GMX, Pendle, LBR. I've been talking about these projects for either weeks or months at this point. They are cornerstones in my portfolios, pillars. I don't even think about them. They're just Giga Chads there. Some of these other ones I would love to dive into a little bit more time, but we'll come back to them in another video. And I forgot almost. Number 6, Bitcoin, ETH, just buy more. Stop overthinking it. It's time. Do with that information as you wish. All right, so we need to wrap this up, but I hope you enjoyed this video. We covered so many different things today. Be sure to drop a comment below about new up and coming projects that you're excited for. Again, come join the completely free community Discord. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And anyways, see you in the next one. Cheers and happy farming.